Hello, this is Anjana and welcome to the 10th session on Ruby on Rails. In this session, we will see how we can integrate a second model to our Kitchen Store application. Let's consider a scenario where our products need reviews that will be used by customers of the online Kitchen Store application for reference. To introduce this feature, let's add a reviews resource to our application. Every product can have one or more reviews. Every review is associated with a particular product. Now, let's generate a review model. Let's open the Rails console and use one of Rails generators. Rails generate model, review, commenter, string, and the body of the comment would be a text type. The next is you need to give the review as a reference to the product. Because the review belongs to the product, we would need to specify product references. In just a bit, we'll see what this creates. So here you have a migration file and the model review. So if you open the model review, you'll notice that there is a line that says belongs to products. That is because of the product references that we have given here when we try to generate the model review. So with this command, Rails generated the files necessary to create the table reviews and the model review. Now in the migration file, you will also notice a t.references product line, which will set up a foreign key column for the association between the two models, product and review. Now let's go ahead and run the migration. Rake db migrate. I just noticed a spelling error here, so let me fix that first, and then let's run rake db migrate. So this has created the table reviews with the columns body and commenter. Let's quickly check it out. So here you have your reviews table and the columns are commenter, body, and product ID. Product ID is actually the foreign key that gets created because of the t.references line that we were talking about. Now we are ready to work with the associated models. First, let us think about these two models and make sure that we have declared associations in both. We know that our product model does not have any association in it as it was created before the review model. If the review belongs to product, then product has one review or has many reviews. We would want several reviews, if any, for a product. So let us change the product model code. We would want several reviews, if any, for a product. So let us change the product model code and add the line has many reviews. Has many reviews. These two declarations, has many reviews and review belongs to product, enable a good bit of automatic behavior in Rails. For example, if you have an instance variable at product containing a product, you can retrieve all reviews belonging to that product as an array using @product.reviews. Now let's open the Rails console for this application. And let's create a review for the product named casserole. So let's do a product.find by name casserole. And we have a product with product ID 1. So let's assign this to a product variable, and we already have a reviews table, so let's create a review for this product. So we would need to specify the commenter, because that was one of the attributes that we had created the reviews table with, and we can specify the name of the commenter and the body of the comment. This is a great product, and the product ID, which is 1. So here you'll notice the SQL that was generated that tells us what happened in the database. So this has created a row in the reviews table with the information that we had provided, and there is a commit on it. So now we have one review associated with this product. Let's say we have multiple reviews for this product. Then we will need to follow the same procedure and give the product ID multiple times for the same product. This is the case if we had not used Rails associations. With the Rails associations declaration in each of the models, we can create reviews of a product much more easily, like so. We have the product defined, and then we have reviews. We just have to call create on that, and we have to give the name of the commenter, and the body, and you do not have to specify the product ID, and you just have to click enter. So automatically there is a product ID associated with it, and that will be the product object that you used to create the reviews with. Now let's say we want to delete this product. Then based on the association we have given, we would assume that the reviews will also get automatically cleared. Well, this will not be the case. Let's give this a try. So far we have 2 reviews. Let's check the reviews. You can check the reviews by running product.reviews. So here you have review ID 1 and review ID 2 with the 2 commenters that we just created. One using product ID and the other one using the Rails associations method. So let me delete product dot destroy. So you'll notice that there's just one SQL statement that got generated, which is delete from products where products.id equal to 1. It's quite clear here that the reviews did not get deleted. So this is not good. Now how will we fix this? Rails provides us an option called dependent destroy. That will take care of this. So with this declaration, along with the has many reviews, you will be able to delete the reviews as well when the product gets deleted. So right now, let me create the product that got deleted. We know that there is no product ID 1. So we can create a product with ID 1. And since there is validation for this product, we might need to give a good name and description to it. And there is also a price attribute. And let's save it. So here a product ID 1 that we just deleted got created. So now let's double check make sure that the product with ID 1 exists, and let me reload the editor because of the changes that we made in the product model. Now let's try deleting the product. So now let us assign, after the reload, let us assign the product with ID 1 to the product variable, and then do a product dot destroy. So here you would see three SQL statements, 2 deleting from reviews and 1 deleting from products, and this is exactly what we want. You would not want to do a product dot delete because that would only delete the product. Destroy will make use of the association and the option that you've used here. Now let's make the reviews accessible to the online user. First, we would need to add the resource reviews to the routes.rb file. So let's open the routes.rb file, and so here we have resources products. So we have to bring the nested relationship here as well. Product has many reviews. So we would put it as resources products do resources reviews. This creates reviews as a nested resource within products. This is another part of capturing the hierarchical relationship that exists between products and reviews. Now let us generate the controller for reviews. Let's go back to the command prompt and exit out of the Rails console and run a Rails generate controller reviews. So this will create the following files: the reviews controller, a directory under reviews, and test files. Generally, viewers of the products will create their comments for each product directly after viewing a product, and once they have added their comment, they will be sent back to the same page, the product show page, to see their comment on just below the product information. So it is the responsibility of the reviews controller to provide the necessary information to the view to display the reviews. So first we'll wire up the product show template. So let's open the show.html.drb and let's make a new review comment underneath the product data. So here we have the table that has the product information. Just below this, let's create a form using form for, like we did earlier with the product. So this time we need to create a form for reviews. Now we had just noticed that we have a product.reviews method that we can call to get the reviews of a product. Now you also have a build method that you can use to build an associated model or associated object. So here you would specify, it's slightly different than the product form for, because here the associations come in, and so it makes it a little bit more complicated. However, you will understand it as we implement it. So here you're going to specify the add product that is available to this view, and the second parameter would be add product dot reviews dot build. Now this is required to build the form values of reviews onto this product. So this is a loop, and let's declare a variable f, and let's end the form. Now let's define a paragraph tag and dot label commenter. And let's define a f dot text field for the commenter information. Next, let's define a text area for the body of the comment. And finally, let's define f dot submit. So this adds a form on the product show page that enables a user to create a new review by calling the reviews controller's create action. So now we have to go on to the reviews controller and create a create action that will handle the form submission. So the form for call here uses an array which builds a nested route such as products slash the ID slash reviews. Now in our reviews controller, we would need to first find the product using product.find, and in the params hash, the product ID is available. Next, we would need to define a review object, which is a product.reviews.create. So you would need to create the reviews based on the params hash that you get, and the params hash will be review, and you would need to permit the fields of the review. They are commenter and body. Eventually you would need to redirect to the show page of product. So here you will see a bit more complexity. This is a side effect of the nesting that you've set up. Each request for a review has to keep track of the product to which the review is attached. In addition, the code takes advantage of some of the methods available for an association. We use the create method on product reviews to create and save the review. This will automatically link the review so that it belongs to that particular product. Once we have made the new review, we should send the user back to the product show page using the product path product helper. As we have already seen, this calls the show action of the product's controller, which in turn renders the show.html.erb template. Now, this is here is where you want the review to show up. So we would want to edit the show template, and let's display the reviews, if any, above the form review form. So let's define an h2 tag here, and let's iterate over the product reviews review and define a commenter strong. Let's highlight the commenter, and just below that we can have review dot commenter, or beside it, review.commenter. Similarly, let's define an area for putting in the comments, and that will be comment, or maybe you can say your review of the product, and the attribute will be body. Let's draw a horizontal rule here to make it look neat, and one here too. So there's a clear separation of information. Now let's try these out. So let me bring up the Rails server, and let's go to the browser. Let's navigate to localhost products, and let's check out the product details of the first product, and let's put in a review. So let's say the commenter's name is Alice, and the body would be, this is a useful product maybe, and then let's create the review, and you see your review right here. So this is because of the code that iterates over the reviews of the product and displays that information just above the form. So what's happening behind the scenes is it goes to the reviews controllers, create action, and this redirects to show, which makes use of the add product and generates or displays the reviews in it. With this, our 10th session comes to an end. Summarizing the topics covered in this session, we saw how to integrate a second model into the application. We learned a few basic associations. Now it is time for a small trivia. Name a method you can use to create an association's child object into the database. Hint: this is a utility method you get for free when you declare the HasMany association. In the next session, we will look into Rails associations a little bit deeper. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.